Subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon, to never miss a video from us. Hi. Welcome to Test Prep Training. Today we will discuss about AZ-203, Developing Solutions for Microsoft Azure. This exam is for candidates who perform the role of Azure developers, with the ability to design and build cloud solutions such as applications and services. Knowledge required for the exam. First, candidates applying for the exam must have knowledge and understanding of developing apps and services by using Azure tools and technologies, including storage, security, compute, and communications. Second, they must have at least 1 year of experience in developing scalable solutions, with knowledge of all phases of software development. Third, candidates should be familiar with at least one cloud-supported programming language. Now, we will discuss about the Microsoft Learning Path. Microsoft provides candidates access to the learning path that helps them to understand the concepts in a step-by-step format. However, these learning paths include modules that help candidates to enhance their skills and knowledge in 1. Creating serverless applications. 2. Connecting the services together. 3. Working with relational data in Azure. 4. Storing data in Azure. 5. Deploying a website with Azure Virtual Machines. 6. Managing resources in Azure. 7. Deploying a website to Azure with Azure Apps Service. 8. Extracting knowledge and insights from your data with Azure Databricks. 9. Securing cloud data. Exam format. Exam code is AZ-203. Exam time is 150 minutes. It has 40 to 60 questions. It costs around $165. Passing score is 700. Language can be English, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean. Exam scheduling. Microsoft Azure AZ-203 exam measures the ability to perform technical tasks for developing Azure infrastructure as a compute solution with implementing Azure security. Candidates must also know how to monitor, optimize, and troubleshoot the solutions. However, candidates can schedule their exam with the Pearson VUE. Now, let's discuss about Microsoft AZ-203 exam course outline. First, develop Azure infrastructure as a service compute solution which comprises of 10 to 15% weightage in exam. Second, develop Azure platform as a service compute solution which comprises of 20 to 25% weightage in exam. Third, develop for Azure storage which comprises of 15 to 20% weightage in exam. Fourth, implement Azure security which comprises of 10 to 15% weightage in exam. Fifth, monitor, troubleshoot, and optimize solutions which comprises of 10 to 15% weightage in exam. Sixth, connect to and consume Azure and third-party services which comprises of 20 to 25% weightage in exam. Now, we will discuss each topic in detail. Topic 1. Develop Azure infrastructure as a service compute solution. This can be understood in 3 parts. First, implementing solutions that uses virtual machines, VM. It is divided into 3 parts. Provisioning VMs. Creating ARM templates. Configuring Azure Disk Encryption for VMs. Second, implementing batch jobs by using Azure Batch Services. It is divided into 3 parts. Managing batch jobs by using Batch Service API. Running a batch job by using Azure CLI, Azure Portal, and other tools. Writing code to run an Azure Batch Services batch job. Third, creating containerized solutions. It is divided into 4 parts. Developing an Azure Managed Kubernetes Service, AKS, cluster. Creating container images for solutions. Publishing an image to the Azure Container Registry. Running containers by using Azure Container Instance, or AKS. Topic 2. Develop Azure Platform as a service compute solution. It can be explained in 4 parts. First, creating Azure Apps Service web apps. It is divided into 5 parts. Creating an Azure Apps Service web app. Developing an Azure Apps Service background task by using web jobs. Enabling diagnostics logging. Creating an Azure web app for containers. Monitoring service health by using Azure Monitor. Second, creating Azure App Service mobile apps. It is divided into 3 parts. Adding push notifications for mobile apps. Enabling offline sync for mobile app. Implementing a remote instrumentation strategy for mobile devices. Third, creating Azure App Service API apps. It is divided into 2 parts. Developing an Azure Apps Service API app. Creating documentation for the API by using open source and other tools. Fourth, implementing Azure functions. It is divided into 5 parts. Implement input and output bindings for a function. Executing function triggers by using data operations, timers, and webhooks. Implementing Azure durable functions. Creating Azure function apps by using Visual Studio. Applying Python Azure functions. Topic 3. Develop for Azure storage. It can be understood in 4 parts. First, developing solutions that use storage tables. It is divided into 3 parts. Designing and implementing policies for tables. Querying table storage by using code. Implementing partitioning schemes. Second, developing solutions that use Cosmos DB storage. It is divided into 3 parts. Creating, reading, updating, and deleting data by using appropriate APIs. Implementing partitioning schemes. Setting the appropriate consistency level for operations. Third, developing solutions that use a relational database. It is divided into 5 parts. Provisioning and configuring relational databases. Configuring elastic pools for Azure SQL database. Creating, reading, updating, and deleting data tables by using code. Provisioning and configuring Azure SQL database serverless instances. Configuring Azure SQL and Azure PostgreSQL hyperscale instances. Fourth, developing solutions that use blob storage. It is divided into 4 parts. Moving items in blob storage between storage accounts, or containers. Setting and retrieving properties and metadata, implementing blob leasing. Executing data archiving and retention. Implementing GeoZone redundant storage. Topic 4. Implement Azure security. It can be understood in 3 parts. First, implementing authentication. It is divided into 5 parts. Executing authentication by using certificates, forms-based authentication, or tokens. Applying multi-factor, or Windows authentication by using Azure AD. Implementing OAuth 2 authentication. Applying managed identities, or service principal authentication. Executing Microsoft Identity Platform. Second, implementing access control. It is divided into 3 parts. Applying CBAC, claims-based access control, authorization. Implementing RBAC, role-based access control, authorization. Creating shared access signatures. Third, implementing secure data solutions. Encrypting and decrypting data at rest and in transit. Creating, reading, updating, and deleting keys, secrets, and certificates by using the Key Vault API. Topic 5. Monitor, troubleshoot, and optimize Azure solutions. It can be explained in 3 parts. First, developing code to support scalability of apps and services. It is divided into 3 parts. Implementing auto-scaling rules and patterns such as scheduling, operational or system metrics, singleton applications. Executing code that handles transient faults. Implementing AKS scaling strategies. Second, integrating caching and content delivery within solutions. It is divided into 3 parts. Storing and retrieving data in Azure Redis Cache. Developing code for implementing CDN in solutions. Invalidating cache content, CDN, or Redis. Third, instrumentation 0F solutions to support monitoring and logging. It is divided into 3 parts. Configuring instrumentation in an app or service by using application insights. Analyzing and troubleshooting solutions by using Azure Monitor. Implementing application insights web test and alerts. Now, topic 6. Connect to and consume Azure services and third-party services. It can be understood in 5 parts. First, developing an app service logic app. It is divided into 3 parts. Creating a logic app, Microsoft documentation, workflow by using Azure Logic Apps. Develop a custom connector for Logic Apps, Microsoft documentation, create a custom connector. Creating a custom template for Logic Apps. Second, integrating Azure Search within solutions. It is divided into 4 parts. Creating an Azure Search Index. Importing searchable data. Querying the Azure Search Index. Applying cognitive search. Third, implementing API management. It is divided into 4 parts. Establishing API gateways. Creating an APIM instance. Configuring authentication for APIs. Defining policies for APIs. Fourth, developing event-based solutions. It is divided into 3 parts. Implementing solutions that use Azure Event Grid. Executing solutions that use Azure Notification Hubs. Implementing solutions that use Azure Event Hub. Fifth, developing message-based solutions. It is divided in 2 parts. Applying solutions that use Azure Service Bus. Implementing solutions that use Azure Queue storage queues. Now, let's talk about exam policies. Microsoft provides exam policies to help the candidates to plan and manage a positive outcome. Microsoft certification exam policies give candidates access to all the exam-related details, accompanying the before and after exam procedures. These exam policies are the inclusion of certain rules that need to be followed during the exam time or at testing centers. On this page, the candidates will get information about after the exam or before exam procedures. Microsoft Azure AZ-203 Exam Preparation Guide. First, developing solutions for Microsoft Azure. Second, understanding concepts which we discussed before. Preparation resources. This can be done through Microsoft Learning Platform, Microsoft Docs, instructor-led training, reference books, practice tests. Third, take the AZ-203 exam. Apply and prepare for Microsoft Azure with understanding the exam concepts. Pass the AZ-203 exam. Now, number 1, Microsoft Learning Platform. The learning resource that will be beneficial during the exam preparation is the Microsoft Learning Platform. However, make sure to go through the official website of Microsoft. For the AZ-203 exam, it would be best to first go through the Microsoft official website to get authentic information about the exam. You can easily locate the AZ-203 page where you can just go through all the necessary information about the AZ-203 exam. Number 2, Microsoft Docs. After that, you can move on to Microsoft Documentation where you can easily understand the Microsoft AI solutions and machine learning concepts. Moreover, you also get to know the different scales of different Azure services. Microsoft Docs consists of modules that will help you gain a lot of knowledge about AI and the different services in a sequence. Number 3, Instructor-led training. Microsoft has given an advantage to candidates, providing instructor-led training. In this, the candidates will learn how developers use Azure services, with additional focus on features and tasks that differ from AWS and also help in learning about developing applications that will be hosted by using Azure services. However, this is a 3-day course designed to help candidates in constructing Azure App Service web app solutions and Azure Functions, using Blob or Cosmos DB storage and solutions, implementing secure cloud solutions that include user authentication and authorization, implementing API management, developing event and message-based solutions, monitoring, troubleshooting, and optimizing Azure solutions. Number 4, Reference books. Those who are dedicated to passing the exam know the importance of books during the time of preparation. However, while studying for the exam, books can be really helpful to understand the core of the topics. Candidates can take the books available in the market that will help in studying for the AZ-203 exam. For example, AZ-203 Developing Solutions for Microsoft Azure. Number 5, Online Study Groups. One thing that will be beneficial during the exam preparation time is to join study groups, as these groups will help you to stay connected with the other people who are on the same pathway as yours. Moreover, here you can start any discussion about the issue related to the exam, or any query. By doing so, you will get the best possible answer to your query. Number 6, Practice tests. This can be a very essential part that can help you to prepare better for the exam. That is to say, practice tests are important as by assessing yourself with these tests, you will know about your weak and strong areas. However, by practicing you will be able to improve your answering skills, that will result in saving a lot of time. Moreover, the best way to start doing practice tests is after completing one full topic, as this will work as a revision part for you. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel.